Shabbat Shalom, everyone. There's something very fascinating about a letter in this week's Parsha, which doesn't occur in the whole of the Torah. The word Shalom in the first pasuk, in the opening of Pinchas, where it says that Pinchas is rewarded with a covenant of peace, a Briti Shalom. The letter Vav in that word Shalom is broken. If you actually open a Sefer Torah and you look at the letter itself is broken. There's a break in the middle of the letter. And the Gemara in Kedushin, Samach Vav Amud Bet, says that this letter indeed is called a Vav Ketia. The Vav has been broken. And that is how it's read. There are many communities around the world, I know, that will look at the Torah and will return the Torah into the Ark because they think that it's a not kosher Sefer Torah because it has this mistake. Then they'll open up another Torah and they'll open up and it has the same word, Shalom, but yet with this broken Vav. Why is the word Shalom, why is peace written with a broken Vav? Why the letter Vav? So I want to suggest the following. That there are indeed two types of peace. There's a broken peace and a complete peace. Let's look at the broken peace. The broken peace from this week's Parsha was the peace that Pinchas brought about. We see from the end of last week's Parsha, there was an act of violence. There was an act of violence that Pinchas performed, and yes, there was uncertainty. What would be the ramifications? And God said, you know something? I'm going to give this a blessing of peace. But it wasn't a whole peace. The Vav was broken. The same spear that, in a way, Pinchas used to perform that act, spears the Vav. The Vav itself is split into two. But why the Vav? Why that letter? Why the letter Vav? So I'd like to suggest the following idea, that there are two words in the English dictionary which we use all the time, but yet have very different meanings and very different impacts. And that is the word but and the word and. Let's analyze. When we use the word but, the but is often saying, I hear what you're saying, but something else. The but, in a way, is a break. It's sort of destroying what happened just before when you say the word but. But in Hebrew is aval, which is connected to the word avel, mourning, loss, death. There's a certain break in life which creates an avelut, avel, which is a but. It's that disconnect. It's a break. And there's another word which has a very different impact, which is an alternative word that we can use in language instead of but, and that is the word and. And connects what just happened with what I'm saying now. And is a connector. And connects what happened before with what's happening after. When I use the word and, in a way there's an acceptance of what's happened more. I'm not any more in conflict. There's a wholeness when I say and. The word Vav in Hebrew is a hook. It's a connector. It brings two things together. And I want to suggest that this reflects, the letter Vav symbolizes the two levels of peace that we experience in the world. There's a broken peace, a peace which two parties can have, which two individuals can have, or governments or nations, which is a peace there is peace itself, but it's a broken peace. It may have come through a violent act, or it comes through an acceptance, but not a whole acceptance. And this is the broken peace. But then there is a more complete peace, where the Vav is fully restored. Not a peace which is made up of a but a piece of an and, where there's a full acceptance of the other party. And I see what you're saying, and there's a full respect. The Vav is healed. The Vav is complete. Please God, let us be blessed that we can move from a peace which is a broken peace to more ideal peace, a peace from a world of but into a world of and, from a broken piece to a complete piece. Shabbat Shalom.